Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting, because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives we're choosing, right? What I'm discussing today, and I feel like this is going to be a good one, because it came to me while I was walking, and that's always fun when I'm just like getting it in, and this idea pops in my head, and then like all the reasons after it just keep popping in. I know that I'm in the right place at the right time. Divine timing, right? Anyway, so today's topic is 8 reasons why changing your ways for others never works. Now, I wanted to do this video with the thought process of this is not I refuse to do anything for other people. I refuse to change this or do that or whatever. This is more of I've done it. I have given it. I have thought that that was a way of life and a way of being for a long time. And up until my most recent life, like in the past few years, I realized that it wasn't ideal. So these are the 8 things that I've noticed about changing your ways for other people, whatever those ways may be. I believe that we all have ways that we want to change, but they should definitely be for yourself. Number 1 is it's not real and it's about their needs, especially if you're in a relationship or friendship or something. A lot of times people make these unhealthy demands on us about what we should do or what we can't do or what we can do and who we can talk to and how we can dress or whatever it is people are making demands about, because people are always making demands. It's not real. It's about their needs. So whatever you're changing for that time, I've seen people do it. I've seen people become a different person in every single relationship they've been in. I've seen it. I've seen women who never ever explore the world or do anything interesting or important. It's not like it guarantees you a better relationship with people. It doesn't. But I've seen this over and over again, and I've watched them be a different, I'm into sports now. I'm into hiking. I'm into skiing. I'm into legal dramas. Whatever it is, it's like they become a whole different person. And I don't think anything is wrong with adding things to your repertoire. But as soon as that person is gone, they're back to being whatever they were and then hopping on the next whatever the person is doing. Whenever you're changing and it's not about your needs, I think it puts you further and further away from realizing and understanding who you are as a person. You're too busy shape-shifting for other people, right? Number 2 is the changes keep coming, and I have not ever seen a situation where when someone was asking somebody to change their ways, where it was enough. I don't like the way you do this. I don't like the way you say this. I don't like the way you wear this. I don't like the way you move with this. My idea is address it if you want to, but if your happiness is going to be hinged upon them being something different so you can feel at peace, then that means you probably shouldn't even be in relationship either, because you got to find your peace no matter who's around and no matter who's doing what. That's not to say you're not going to have moments to where life kind of jabs at you and gets tough. It just means that you are in front of your feelings. You are in front of what you're doing and where you're going in life. I've seen too many times where people change all these things, and the person who's asking for the changes, they just keep asking for more. I used to be around somebody who used to say this, and they used to only say it as in relationships it was a man. So they were speaking about women, and I was like, oh yeah, women do ask you to change a lot of things. That was my mind. I was just like, yeah, they do. But now I don't, my mindset is not low level enough to put gender on everything. But I understand that now it's like, man, no matter who you are, whether it's a kid and your parents, whether it's a sister and your siblings, whether it's a person in a relationship, whenever you get caught up in the idea of changing things for people over and over again, you're just kind of shifting yourself into what they want from you. But it's never going to be enough, because once people see that they can get away with that, they just keep on asking. They just keep on pushing. I love to say they don't, but that's not true. They do. Number 3 is, big one for me. The person isn't learning how to self-soothe. Self-soothing is so important. I was watching some home video, which I didn't even know I had. That is the most beautiful thing, to find home video from a camcorder. I used to walk around with a mini DV camcorder everywhere I went all the time back in the day. And when my daughters were still little, I had it. And I remember using it all the time. And they were like 7, 8 months and like 1.5, because they're not 2 years apart. We're like 1 something. And when I tell you, I was listening to myself talk to them on camera. I've been talking to those girls like they know what's happening in the world for a long time. Like I always had plain talk. I was like, yeah, that's not going to be a good idea because what might happen is this is me literally talking to a 1.5, 2-year-old. It's like I'm looking at my oldest daughter and she's just like, and I was like, you understand what just happened? Like you understand what took place? She's like, uh-huh. And then she running off playing. And I'm like, she did not understand. Maybe she did. But it's so cute because it's me and my innocence and my baby waking up steps right before divorce. And it's also them in their innocence of like just saying, this woman loves me and she gives me hugs and kisses and all that. But at the same time, I remember so much watching them self-soothe on the videos. This is more recently. I was looking at the youngest one in the middle of the room. She was in the playroom and she noticed me walk in the room with the camera. And she's like, not even 1 yet. And she's like, holding her hands in the air. And me watching the video is like, aren't you going to go over and get her? And I was like, And I was like, what you need? What's the problem? And she just went, And then she kept crawling the other way. And then I was like, all right. And I left the room. And I was like, dang, I was teaching my daughters how to self-soothe in such a loving way. And I didn't even realize it, right? Because I understood the importance of not allowing other people to have so much power over the way that you feel, right? Until to this day, it rings true. It's a fact. Okay, I went too long on that one. But number 4 is you waste a lot of time and energy trying to be someone else's internal peace. I think at this point in time in the world and the information that we have, we know that we are not able to be someone's internal peace. Now we can, do a really good job on ransacking their peace externally, right? But on the inside, we don't even have access to that. It's like it's been a lie that was told to people so much. Be people's peace. You don't have access to somebody else's peace. Your external nonsense can have them walk away in another direction, right? And to go gain that peace that they want. But as far as who they are on the inside and whether or not they feel peaceful as a person and content, you waste a lot of time trying to get people to see that in themselves because you can't be it for them. Number 5, they usually don't see or care about what you sacrifice unless they deem it something to be so big that it means something, right? This is what a whole idea of like blood sacrifices are, or like people with the idea of people sacrificing family members or something. Because the idea of sacrifice means that you are giving up something that you care deeply, deeply about. And to hand it over, you have to practice detachment, you have to practice letting go, and you have to become a new version of yourself to give that thing to others, right? But I don't feel like sacrifice has to be so trauma-filled. I feel like sacrifice is just understanding that everything is a trade-off, right? What is that Thomas Sowell who said, there's no solutions, only trade-offs? That's very true because you're doing a trade-off, right? Sometimes I make peace with a trade-off before it even happens. So by the time someone is asking me to change something or do something, and I say, yeah, very easily, that's not enough. I've seen people think you're arrogant, you're this or that, because I was like, okay, sure, you can do that. And they're just like, you acting like you don't care. I've already released this before you came to me. I've released it a couple of weeks ago. So by the time you came to me, there's no drama, there's no trauma, there's no pain, because I've already given up that sacrifice a while ago. But a lot of people feel like if they don't have access to you walking around and stumping like a baby and saying, I guess I'll give you this, then that means it ain't a sacrifice. But I think that's a trauma bonding mindset that comes from people who are used to struggling. And people that come from groups of people who are used to struggling, you may deal with these kind of things a whole lot more. It's almost a guilt if you don't feel like you're losing so much when you sacrifice for other people. Sometimes I sacrifice my lunch for my daughters because I was eating it, but they looked like they wanted it more than me. And I'm like, you can have it. Go ahead. I've done that their whole lives. And I didn't sit there going, I never get food. There's nothing left for me. I gave into that sacrifice when I had them. I realized that my little needs was no longer important on a large scale. They were way more important, right? So I had to make my needs align with what they needed so we can all be a happy family, right? Another thing is, number 6, people want you to make them feel the way they ultimately can only give to themselves. And 2 parts to this. Before they figure that out, you will be blamed for everything that goes on with them, especially if you're in a close relationship to people. Before they figure out that what they feel and what they perceive and what they're going through and that they're projecting their lives upon the world and their feelings and all that, until people figure that out, it doesn't mean that you don't care about people don't care about your feelings. No, it just means you know what's happening and you're not asleep at the wheel, right? You know what's happening. You want to know what's happening, right? You will get blamed because people want somewhere to give that energy. I watch it happen with my daughters. One is in a bad mood. The other one's like, what's your problem? I've seen them trying to transfer negative energy to each other. And I go like, hey man, you're trying to transfer negative energy. You need to go take care of yourself. Go sit for a few minutes. Go take a 10-minute break. People hate it. They hate it, but they know I'm right. And they stump off and they're like, erg. I do it to myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm in a crappy mood. Give me some time. And I'll go in my room for like an hour or so. I come back out and they're like, hi, mommy, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Because we have to learn that we ultimately are control of what's happening on the inside of us, right? And if we're always trying to give that energy away or alchemize it in a negative way, we never truly grow as people. We're always looking for other people to take up the slack and hoping that they get upset enough so I can feel less upset. You know, that's very common. People get upset at work. They come home trying to give that energy to somebody else. And when that person's upset, then they finally feel better. I knew I was in a bad relationship once where I told the person, I said, it seems like whenever I'm happy and feeling good, you're sad about that. But whenever you're upset, I'm trying to soothe you and help you. And it's not even working. And then finally we get into this little chummy space for like a week or so. And then I'm like, yeah, everything's working good. And then I'm happy again. And then the cycle starts all over. And then you're bothered because I'm happy. You really have to pay close attention to people who can't be happy while you're happy. And if you're a person that can't be happy while someone else is happy, pay attention to that. You know, watch it. You know what I mean? Real good. And you don't want to be a person walking around doing that to yourself or other people. And I said this already, so this is number 7. But like I said before, it's never enough. When people are needy and they have a needy nature, it's never going to be enough for you to give to them. It's just going to be one more thing and then one more thing and then one more thing. Then what you'll look up and realize is that all of the energy and attention has been focused on them and their needs. But this is what I know about attention. People that need it, people that thrive on it, people that want it more than anything, they do not care where it's coming from. They don't. They don't care where that attention is coming from. So what happens is their neediness drives them to people all the time, other people in every environment to try to get that attention. With people like that, you are easily replaceable. And the reason why you're easily replaceable is because it does not matter that it's you giving the attention. The attention is more important than you. The attention is more important than a relationship. The intention is more important than them growing as people. So if you're thinking that giving somebody a lot of attention and helping them soothe and being their rock and their peace and all that is going to be useful, the minute you turn that switch off or you're being human, God forbid, and you can't be that for them for 5 minutes, they're going to go look for somebody else to give them that attention. And that leads me to my final point, ladies and gentlemen. Number 8 is they usually cheat a lot. And I only noticed as a grown adult. I did not notice as a younger person. I don't usually pay attention to that kind of thing. But what I'm telling you is they usually cheat a lot because they're too externally focused. Or if they're not a cheater, because most people I've known have been cheaters, they're people that keep relationships in gray areas all the time, but they're users and manipulators. But people that hop from relationship to relationship are your main culprits of people that don't matter where the attention coming from. And they'll tell you real quick how the other person wasn't meeting their needs and how the other person treated them like this and how the other person did that and how the other person was the devil. And at the same time, you find out that they're just a needy attention seeker. 8 reasons why you should not get in the habit of changing your ways for others. Changing ways and evolving and ascending in a way that you see fit for your purpose, that is who you should be. That is where your time should be focused, right? And those people that come in that space while that's happening, those are the ones that you're going to be giving your time and attention to. But anybody that walk in your space and is like, I don't like this, I don't like that, change that. You're making me feel like less of a woman. You're making me feel like less of a man. You're like, take it from me, it will never be enough. You will be doing that until you die. It will drain your energy, your time. It will ruin your gifts. It will make you exhausted mentally. You will not be a good friend or a good whatever to other people because your attention is being siphoned somewhere else. It's a good idea. It's a fine and dandy idea to think that we have control over these things and that if we just fix this, then it'll be right. If we just fix that, then it'll be right. 9 times out of 10, when somebody's complaining about everything you do, whether that's a friendship, a relationship, a sibling, blah, 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 they ain't never like you anyway. And it's not going to matter what you do. It's not going to matter. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. And yeah, change your ways, but change your ways for you.